Hello everyone, it is the last segment of Scooby-Doo Unmasked, and before we get into the end of the game proper, I wanted to show off the very few extras that this game has to offer, which are not too much. They are these enemy bios here. I have now finally, only now, just figured out what the trap pieces do, which is that they unlock these enemy bios, and you can learn all of their stats and strats for beating them. The one for the caveman enemy would have been useful before I fight it, because it's the boss for the museum, which you are going to see in a couple of minutes. And that laugh there that the Kung Fu Maiden does, I swear to God, that same exact laugh is in Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. It's one of the laughs that you hear from the joyous children in your park. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if anyone here has played Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 and knows what I'm talking about, please feel free to confirm or deny. Anyway, this is the other extra that the game has, which I think is significantly more interesting, which is all of this concept art for all of the different characters and some of the areas. Not too much in the way of enemies. I guess they didn't really know exactly what they were going to be doing with all of them, although I suppose there you get a glimpse of, they obviously had those same tables with the sort of mechanical bodies that are waiting to be covered in mubber. Those are in the last level that we're going to be doing in this video, so they clearly at least had the whole idea of, like, there being some sort of shape-shifting material being used to make facsimiles of people and creatures. And I like these. These are storyboards. This is kind of a part of video game development that you don't usually get to see many parts of. This is a storyboarding for all of the cutscenes and story scenes. It's pretty neat. But yeah, that's just about it that it has to offer, so no more wasting time. Time to go into the planetarium for the last hurrah of the museum world, the last full world of the game. Excellent joke. That's one of those, like, kid jokes that, like, I feel like there have been iterations of it told a million times, but kids will just always think it's funny. I don't know what it is. And I remember being kind of confounded by it when I was a child myself, that, like, there were some jokes like that. Those really, like, broad and not very funny jokes that are, like the most egregious and well-known example that I can think of is people saying "not" after saying something that they did not actually believe to be true. And it's like, I don't know, it's really stupid. Like, that's really dumb. And then, like, the kinds of jokes that punctuate a lot of scenes, and especially commercial breaks on, like, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and shit, like those kinds of shows. Even when I was a kid and I won't say when I unironically liked them, because there are plenty of Disney Channel shows that I unironically like to this day, but stuff like Sweet Life, where that was the show that I watched, fucking, even then I was like, this is corny. Anyway, this is a kind of confusing boss. This UFO controls like dick, and I really hate it, and I think this might have overtaken the Guitar Ghoul fight for this one, which, by the way, I forgot to mention in that concept art, there's a newspaper or something, not a newspaper, on one of the storyboards. It refers to the Guitar Ghoul as the Disco Demon, which I think is better, but I guess they didn't want to go with a disco theme. They wanted to do, like, rock and roll. I suppose it would be a little bit difficult to do, like, a disco-themed boss. More difficult than just having a guitar that you have, like, the blaring speakers make the sound waves. But yeah, the UFO controls badly. You're supposed to knock the caveman's UFO into the sides, and there's a bunch of like power-ups that do shit. But I don't know. It's just kind of confusing. The camera is never pointing where you want to go.
Dinosaurs are covering pumping machines.
And I would have gotten away with it too if it hadn't been for you meddling kids.
It's got to be worth a fortune.
Oh, it is. We could make a deal.
We don't make deals with criminals, Mr. Grimm. Besides, wouldn't you have to check with your partner first? The one supplying you with mubber?
Monstrous fright and magic.
2 for 2, Fred. Scooby found a contract that points right back to Stanton. And if I'm correct, the answer to Jed's disappearance. Stanton sent us on a wild goose chase.
All of this has been pointless. Hooray! Check out my stats. Yeah, I fucking killed this one. I don't know why. I guess all of that being paranoid about missing stuff paid off. Also, nothing was terribly, like, deceptively hidden. The stuff that I missed, I only missed, like, a few clues and trap pieces and, ingredients in this whole game, because they give you your final tally at the end. I only missed a few of each, I have no idea where they could be. Because everything in the game is quite linear, the sort of parameters of your gameplay are quite narrow. Also, I really liked that dude, and something that I like about a lot of Scooby-Doo things in general is that all the businessmen look... There's such a particular look to, like, grimy old capitalists that's really interesting. Or not interesting, but just funny, how they all look like thumbs and goblins when they get older. And it just makes me think of a thought that I had a lot as a child, which is that, like, some people look like their job. Some people, when you look at them and you tell me what their job is, I'm like, oh, you look like someone who would be that. And I remember specifically, I had an eye for English teachers, or at least I told myself I did, that, like, I could tell if someone was an English teacher because I insisted that they all have a certain undefinable look about them. And I won't say that I am, you know, that feeling is completely borne out by evidence or experience necessarily, but I will say that there have been more than one times where I was not wrong, where I guessed completely in the dark that it was an English teacher, and I was correct. So, sometimes judge a book by its cover, I guess, is my advice. But yeah, here we are back in Monstrous Fright and Magic, the section from the first game, if you don't remember. If you're one of the, like, 6 people actively watching this Let's Play as it's being uploaded, then it's been, I think it's been, like, over a month at this point since I started this LP, which kind of sucks, because this isn't a long game at all. As you can see, we're gonna be finishing it up in just 12 videos, but, you know, things happen. I don't know if I ever mentioned it, but I was sick during this time. I have not discussed the details of my no longer having a job, but that situation has become even more complicated in recent days, so, but I mean, everything is good. I'm living my life. I'm trying to get by like everybody else, and just, you know, making videos of me playing video games in the meantime, and, you know, watching movies and trying to write stuff about them to put up on the internet, and this is some excellent stuff right here. That was the result, by the way, of me holding left on the control stick and pressing A, trying not to fall off. And doesn't that look like it's supposed to be a zipline, but it just carries you directly into your death? This thing is all very finicky. Anything that has you jumping from those sliding things is finicky in this game. And this level keeps doing this thing. It does it later on where it keeps placing Scooby snacks, like, past the point at which you exit the area. And I'm not entirely sure why they decided to do that. And I don't know when the Knights gained this ability of making force fields, but I suppose they have it now. These things take a lot of hits regardless of what you use against them. But yeah. But yeah, that's why the low audience doesn't bother me all too much. Also, just because I only just started this channel, like, dedicated to LP stuff, and it's not everybody's bag right out the gate. But because, you know, as long as at least someone likes it, and you know, what I'm making isn't just total dog shit, and as long as I enjoy doing it, then I'll continue doing it. But, yeah, there is one guy, though. I mean, I'm assuming it's one person. I don't know, you know, I don't know. I guess you can never know with these things. I kind of wish you could sometimes, but it would probably drive people mad. But there is, like, on every Scooby-Doo video so far, there's been one dislike. And I always get it, like, within, like, an hour of uploading the video, and it's just, like, immediate, and I'm just wondering, like, which... I don't have that many subscribers right now, like, who is just coming through to all of the Scooby-Doo Unmasked videos to just downvote it? Like, are you just morally opposed to this Let's Play? Do you just hate that I'm doing this? This really looks like a place that you could, like, would have a secret that you could go inside of, but alas. Yeah, I don't know, like... it doesn't really bother me. It's like on its face. It's one dislike. That's not going to ruin my life or whatever. I've dealt with much worse than that, obviously, but it's just confusing. Like, otherwise completely normal, and everybody who watches this channel is just perfectly content with what's coming out. And then just one person's really fucking disappointing that I'm continuing this LP every single time. So I guess, like, good for you now, because now after this, then this Let's Play is done. So you don't need to do that anymore. You don't need to be disappointed every time you see in your uploads that I put up a new Scooby-Doo. So I guess, you know, he's the real winner in that scenario. I'm assuming it's a he. If it's an annoying person on the internet, I usually think it's a man. If it's a person on the internet, I think it's a man most of the time, especially on Reddit. Whenever I'm reading, like, comments or posts on Reddit, unless they are taking on a specific cadence that sort of goes against the conventions of Reddit speak, of, like, stereotypical traditional Reddit speak, and I don't even mean, like, lay and dumb shit like that. I just mean, like, just generally how they structure sentences and engage with one another. You know, there are norms of communication on any platform like there are in any distinct social setting. And one of these, this one knight just continues to not be fucking hurt by the big flop. And I don't get it. But yeah, there's 3 whole, enemies.
Jed! Hey, cousin. Do you mind blasting the rest of this, too?
Just as I suspected. Jed was trapped in that costume.
She's right. I was framed. I discovered that Stanton was up to no good, so he trapped me in that costume to prevent me from ratting him out. I was in there the first time you came by.
Jed, I'm so glad you're all right.
Thanks to you, cousin.
Like, slapped his hand down there.
You won't get away, period.
It's Stanton. Sounds like he's in the miniature city set.
That run. Fred and Jed are, you know that they're family because they run like doofuses in the exact same manner. Anyway, now we're even more back to Monstrous Fright and Magic. Now we're going into the deeper recesses, and by that I mean the rooftop. Or at least I think it's a rooftop. Is this supposed to be an actual rooftop, or no? Yeah, the sky is painted on the metal. This is just a fucking artificial city in a big dome. This is a pretty expansive. This isn't a museum. What is this? Is this like a Disneyland but indoors or something? Is this like a theme park? Or we already went to a theme park though. Anyway, I guess Stanton really fucking, or Adam West, who plays Stanton, really liked these pterodactyls because not only did he put a bunch of them in the last levels of the game, even outside of the dinosaur level, but he also made a gigantic one. And I can't help but, when looking at it all big like this and with those, you know, muscle definitions, it looks like a vaguely female body, and I don't know, it makes me uncomfortable. It makes me think that this is like, I don't know, this is weird, vaguely human-looking, just the torso and legs and abdomen just make it look like a, like, genital-less thing. I don't know, it just, this pterodactyl makes me uncomfortable is really the long and short of my criticism, is that it just, I don't like looking at it. And here is another annoying flying section. They really wanted to pull out all the stops on this one. Although this boss has 3 phases, I guess you could say. The first phase we just did, this being the second, and none of them are particularly hard. Although I did fuck this one up. This is actually my second attempt that you're seeing here. Because some of these arrows are very hard to follow their directions right away because of how slow you move across the screen. And I definitely, you're going to see that I clip through many buildings. There are many scenarios in which I definitely should have just slammed right into the building, but the game had mercy on me. Which is great, because I certainly don't want to have to redo this. Like, right there, like, I definitely should have fucking died there, but I'm very glad that I didn't, because I don't want to have to redo that section again. And now we have the final phase of the final boss, which is, it's not too bad, it's just a tad cumbersome, because what you need to do is kick those lights and fry the dude's brain. And then while his brain is fried, you have to use your Scooby-Doo to do that, and fry his brain even more, and make him 100% high. And it can just be a little tough to get the Scooby-Doo blast going with these fucking rats popping out. He had an endless supply of robotic mubber rats, that Stanton guy. He really wasn't fucking around with his minions. And yeah, every time that he does that little peck, it makes the whole ground and thing shake, and that's annoying, but whatever. But once you get into the rhythm of it and not jump straight into the fucking flames like I just did, then it's not too bad. It's pretty generous with me with that one. He definitely was coming out of it by then. But yeah, that's about it for this game in terms of the actual gameplay after this part here. Just one more fry to the brain. Oh, I guess not, I forgot. Try it. There you go. And that last rat will never get a chance to attack good old Scooby. He's fucking mad.
Going somewhere. The jig is up, Mr. Stanton.
Is it? Like there are 2 of you!
Scooby?
Mubber! It's Marcy.
Indeed, Fred. It seems Marcy was trying to frame Stanton, not Jed.
Marcy. But why?
Because I helped create Mubber, but you took all the credit for it. I thought that if I gave you a bad name, I could start up my own business.
Mr. Stanton, is this true?
Marcy, I didn't know you felt this way.
You should have talked to me about it. Destroying the reputation of monstrous fright and magic would destroy Mubber. I'm sorry if I hurt you, Marcy. I'd like you to become a partner in the company. If you can forgive me, that is.
Yeah, I think I can do that.
Another mystery solved.
Are you coming, Shaggy?
Just making myself something for the road. I call it a mubber witch. Huh? What gives?
Now that's what I call a light snack.
I was waiting for Scooby to shove that whole hoagie down his gullet. That would have been his true nature. But anyway, I hope you like that noise. I can't do it. That was way over exaggerated, but the little noise that is making right now, because yeah, this is all the game stats here. How would you describe that noise? What's the onomatopoeia for that noise? But yeah, 96%. Hey, I said that I might want to go back and try to get 100% and get the stuff that I missed, but I only missed a few things. As I said, I have no inkling as to where they might be, and I don't really care. 96% is good enough for me. I think this was a successful run of this game, at least for the most part. Except for the audio problem in the last one, that kind of sucked. But that's my fault, not the game. Anyway, here are the very, low effort credits, because this is just the fucking title screen music and background, but with these Comic Sans list of all of the voice actors and everything. And these credits are quite long. I didn't actually let them finish. I didn't know how long I'd actually want to talk over them. So it might just fade out at some point if I get bored of talking before it cuts off here, but you can access the credits from the very beginning on the start menu. So if you know, I try to do my due diligence and pay respects to the men and women who lost their lives making this game, but it was too fucking boring, so I didn't sit through all of it. I'm sorry. It's also weird because this is not the only piece of Scooby-Doo media that has like a very stripped down sort of menu. My DVD of the first 2 volumes of the original 60s Scooby-Doo cartoon, it's like a new DVD release. It's not very old at all, and it's an official Warner Brothers release and everything, but maybe I can get the picture that I took of it a while ago off my phone. I hope I can, but no promises. If I do, then it will be flashing up on the screen right about now, probably. But the menu for it is just, it looks like something for an MS-DOS game. Like, it looks like a fucking bootleg. Like, it doesn't look like a normal DVD menu at all. It has no sort of design. It's just white text on a black background with a picture of the fucking DVD cover next to it. And it's just, there's no subtitles, there's no special features. It's just a list of the episodes. You can pick them one by one, or you can hit play all, and that's it. But anyway, I think that's enough out of me. So this was Scooby-Doo Unmasked. I had a lot of fun going back through this game. Like I said many times, I played through it back in like August-ish, after having only played the beginning of it as a kid, but many times because I would rent it from Blockbuster all the time. And it was nice to kind of, you know, see it from a new perspective. I don't have any like cool takes or insight like I thought I might about this game. Maybe someday down the line I will, but yeah, I'm not ruling out doing Night of 100 Frights, another Scooby-Doo game that I grew up with, but remember much less of. And as for the next Let's Play, I hope to be starting it on Monday. At this rate, based on the poll, it's going to be either Bioshock Infinite or Creature from the Krusty Krab. We will see. Thank you for tuning in to these 12 episodes of Scooby-Doo Unmasked. I hope that you all liked it, including the man who dislikes all of the episodes of this. I'm sorry that this was not up to snuff. But I will see you all next time. and that's it.